I love the modern Hitman games. Every nook and cranny of these beautifully crafted maps has a new tool that can get you one step closer to killing your target. But not every Hitman game has been quite so polished. So I asked my audience which Hitman game they thought was the worst, and the answer was far and away 2012's Hitman Absolution. So join me today to find out why this game is so hated and if it's really that bad. And to spice things up, I'm gonna beat each level in a unique way. Sometimes no items, sometimes suit only, you get the idea. Let's begin. The game starts out with Agent 47 sneaking into a house to murder a woman named Diana Burnwood and find a girl named Victoria. This was the tutorial, so my freedom was fairly limited, but hey, it did its job. Just like the modern games, Agent 47 has instinct to see enemies through walls, and I can steal their disguises to blend in. Since I'm playing on hard though, my instinct is a limited resource, which is kind of interesting. After only about 10 minutes of sneaking around, I reached my target and was forced to kill her in a cutscene. First impressions are the game seems fun, but this game seems much more intense, might I say, than the modern Hitman games. The next mission was to kill some guy in Chinatown Square, and for this mission, I decided to go for a scripted kill to see what we're working with here. The level was a small but bustling place with people milling about everywhere, which made getting around a real pain. I pretty quickly found my target in the middle of the map, sounding very angry. After a bit of exploration, I found a cook disguise sitting out in the open for me to take, but that wasn't that interesting to get a kill with. Then I noticed my target talking to someone in the middle of the map about some product, and now that seemed like a pretty fun way to kill my target. So I followed the suspicious man to an alleyway where I knocked him out and hid the body. I wasn't fully sure what this would unlock for me, but after I walked up to my target in this disguise, he just told me to take him to the drugs and started following me around. So I did as he asked. I took him to the drugs that I had found earlier in the mission. When he leaned over to start doing a line, I garroted him and stashed his body, securing me the first mission of the game. Honestly, off to a pretty strong start. Every mission was followed by a cutscene with increasingly goofy characters, like this guy who lives in a school bus with a bunch of birds for a reason that is never explained to us. Everyone in the game thinks he's like the best intelligence gatherer in the world, but every time we see him gathering intelligence, he just asks someone a question and they answer him, and like that's it. But regardless of his qualifications, Agent 47 hands over his weapons as payment to this guy, leaving me with only 6 bullets in a revolver for my next mission, which takes place in a hotel. Strangely, this mission does not start out with like a target, but just trying to get to a door. Turns out, around half the levels in this game are just trying to reach a door. But I will give it a fair shake, and during that fair shake, I also learned the detection system has some flaws, to say the least. For example, I looked at this door and everyone immediately got mad at me. I didn't touch it, I just looked at it. And it's often pretty hard to tell who's spotting me in the first place. I'm playing on hard, so maybe that's why. Anyways, after all that floundering, I decided to use Agent 47's ultimate stealth move, covering my eyes, which magically makes nobody recognize me. Now that I got to go to the actual mission where my job as a hitman was to actually kill someone, I decided to go with a classic kill everyone challenge. So, the enemy AI isn't great. They seem to pick a spot they think you are and just shoot at it forever. Sometimes this means they miss you completely, and others it means after you run away, they will still be shooting a random doorway and clip you for half your health. One cool thing they do is when they're behind cover, I think they pop out in different spots when they shoot at you, and they move pretty quick too. So it makes fighting guys one-on-one a little bit more interesting in my opinion. Apparently I killed my target at some point, but I think they were just some guy dressed the same as everyone else, so I didn't even notice. Unfortunately, there was one survivor from this kill everyone challenge, this guy in a locked room who I could only look at through a vent. I tried to shoot the door down or shoot through it, but I think this guy's inaccessible no matter what, so I lose this time. I don't know, that's all I got. Anyways, after I escape a cutscene plays where Agent 47 gets knocked out and framed for murder. Whatever shall I do? But on the bright side, this scene has some of the best voice acting I've ever seen. Just listen to that maid.
Hello. Yeah, we got us a little mess.
What is wrong with her voice?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Clean now?
Sure, come on in, darling. Atta girl.
Oh my god, these... That's your coat! Oh god!
After that, there was a load of riveting reach-the-door gameplay for a few consecutive levels, and man, these sections are very quickly starting to wear on me. If your favorite part of Hitman games is just waiting for guards to move and then sneaking past them, this game is for you, because that's 90% of the gameplay so far, which on its own might not be so bad, but when the game is presented as Hitman, you'd expect the majority of the game to be about killing a target. When the end goal is just to get to a door or pick a lock, it kinda starts to feel pointless. Regardless of my concerns, I pressed on. After all, that first level in Chinatown was pretty open and fun, so hopefully my next mission would be a bit more interesting. This time, I'm dressed as a cop sneaking into a demonetization club, and I have one target, and my goal this time was to get the Silent Assassin rating, meaning nobody knows my target was killed and nobody knew I was ever there. I followed my target around and found he does not do a whole lot. He hangs out at the bar, gets a lap dance, and goes pee. That's it. There's a guard that hangs out in the bathroom, so by knocking him out, I can get his keycard, which allows me to spy on my target while he gets a dance, which seems very creepy, but I had to. Unlike modern Hitman games where characters continue to exist when 47 isn't looking at them, certain interactions just don't happen if the player isn't right there, which I learned the hard way. We'll get to that. By staring at this guy while he gets a dance, he'll stay in the room for a little longer to make a phone call, giving me a free kill on him since no one ever finds his body. While getting this kill, I also found this game is, dated, to say the least.
Get your ass out of my face.
Dude, you can't say that! What the fuck? Putting that aside, remember that thing I said where characters don't move until you get close to them? That is not a good mechanic. I discovered earlier while exploring there are two characters by a stairwell that are talking, and once they finish talking, they leave to go to a different part of the level. I figured I would wait for them to finish talking, then go up the stairs, which are the only way out of the level, and finish. I waited for about 5 minutes before realizing that wasn't going to happen, and I couldn't get close enough to trigger the conversation without a new disguise. Eventually, I ended up stealing a staff uniform from a guy who was standing outside the door, which let me use my instinct to look down and cover my eyes powers to walk past unnoticed, but I would be lying if I said that wasn't a little bit disappointing. I got another mission where I actually had to kill people back in Chinatown again. This time my targets were 3 colorfully dressed men, and I went for a speed run. They were all accessible from the start, so by popping them in the head before taking cover at the exit, all the guards lose me and I can finish the mission. I'm not sure if there's a way to do that without guards spotting me, because you can't leave missions while guards are actively trying to attack you, which lost me around 30 seconds. But despite that, I finished the level in 45 seconds, and honestly, I think this game could be kind of interesting to speedrun based on this level. After that, there were more reach the door or retrieve the item type missions, and honestly, if I keep talking about these, the video will never finish. So I'll stick to the highlights from now on. In this mission, I was saving that same girl from earlier after the nun house she was in got attacked. Oh, there was this level where I started a bar fight and everyone tries to punch you while you just try to reach the bartender. That was kind of funny. I had to do a shooting minigame to get my silent pistols back. That was pretty fun. The story was really gritty and dramatic and generally felt more akin to a story of an action thriller than a stealth game. So here's a quick Spark Notes version. That girl earlier, Victoria, I've been constantly after, is like a superhuman who has the best genes ever, but is also weak to punches, so she keeps getting kidnapped by different guys. Then, my mission is always to come in, kill someone tangentially related to the kidnapper, and then the kidnapper dies in a cutscene. That has been every mission so far and seems to be the general plotline of the entire game. Such as this mission, where Agent 47 has to kill this doctor who keeps blowing up pigs with landmines. I don't know what's going on anymore, guys, but let's do this level suit only. Unfortunately, suit only was not easy. The guards in this game were incredibly inconsistent. Sometimes they'd see you from across the map, and other times you kick a guy next to a bridge while the guy next to him looks down at the falling body and still doesn't notice. I got spotted so many times. I was only playing on hard difficulty, so this was honestly ridiculous. It felt like any misstep outside the exact path the developers wanted me to find meant immediately being spotted. Maybe I'm just bad, but I'm still the guy who did this, and this in modern Hitman games, and the mechanics are not that different. I genuinely have no idea how any casual player is meant to beat this game on any difficulty other than easy. Anyways, most of the mission ended in a shootout. I still won, but honestly guys, my ego was hurt. I wanted to do the next mission, Silent Assassin suit only. Here, I'm in a lab with 2 scientists as my target. One operates on the higher level, while the other operates on the lower level, and I have to activate a bridge on the bottom of the level to escape. Very straightforward, right? It started that way. The first target wasn't too bad. I snuck through a back stairwell into a room they would be conducting experiments in. I subdued a guard and hid his body on the stairs before baiting the 2 scientists into this corner to subdue them both. Once they were knocked out, my target walked into the room all by their lonesome, allowing me to shoot them and leave their corpse on the ground. Lucky for me, right nearby was a checkpoint. This game uses a checkpoint, by the way, no manual or automatic saves allowed. Since I had a checkpoint, I figured why not mosey on down and get aggressive. After always, I can always go back in time. I found my target wanders on a very short loop and occasionally walks into a room where he's alone with only one other scientist. There's also a gas nozzle, which when pulled completely blinds everyone in the room. I reloaded the save point and discovered knocked out characters just respawn after reloading a save point. Cool, no, cool. That's cool. Apparently they still don't see the body. I don't know if it was gone or what. I'm not gonna ask questions, but whatever. I could just sneak downstairs to that gas nozzle for a silent assassin kill. Oh, what's that? The men in the hospital beds with their eyes closed can see me from a mile away, making this level impossible to silent assassin suit only without their AI straight up breaking, allowing me to walk past them? Nice. No, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. I didn't silent assassin suit only the mission, and I was getting fed up. Every mission seemed to have 2 options. Either take the very specific sneaky route that involves waiting long periods of time for guards to move and just hope they don't spot you, or kill everyone. Now you might be thinking, but onion butter, use a disguise, you can sneak past people. They don't work. They're bad. They're really bad. When you dress up in a guard outfit, every single guard in that outfit will know exactly what's going on and who you are instantly. The only thing a disguise gives you is the ability to look down and not get noticed for 10 seconds, which might be enough to get past one guy sometimes, but these levels have so many guards that if you walk in an area with guards, there's always just another guard right around the corner, so it doesn't even matter if you get past the first guy. I'm getting too worked up over this. Let's move on. Now, Agent 47 is in a Hawaii-themed inn taking a shower, and a bunch of nuns in latex are shooting a rocket launcher at him, so I have to kill them. Cool. I snuck out of the building and died again and again and again and again. I'll admit it, the game broke me here. No matter what disguise I took or what I did, the guards below would see me immediately and just shoot me, so I turned the game down to easy mode. You can call me bad, it had been over 10 hours and I was a broken man at this point. I surrender, I'm waving the white flag. But, surprise surprise, turning the game down to easy made it actually kind of fun. When I took a gunfight with guards, I felt like I was stronger than them, like I was a superhuman again instead of like some guy. My instinct didn't run out, so disguises were helpful again, and I was able to take out the nuns, and it felt good. I was in a courtroom for my next mission, and I just stole the judge's gavel and started whacking everyone with it. Now, maybe in this state the game is a little too easy, because there were like 9 guards unloading into me for a solid minute as I slowly went up to each one and hit them in the face with a gavel, but I'll tell you that was way more fun than whatever the nun level was. Now, to take down the guy who had been terrorizing me for this entire game. The man who framed me for killing one innocent person in that hotel. Dexter. I had to navigate a smoky rooftop filled with guards to reach my target. The whole thing is covered with bombs, so I had to use instinct to navigate around them, which took a couple tries. One thing I thought was really funny is that this game came out a year after Batman Arkham City, which was a huge game, so there's this really out of place scene with like Dexter standing over you mocking me like a Batman villain when you fail. There's only one other character in the game who does this, so you can tell it was such a last minute addition. Anyways, the guards and bombs weren't that hard to sneak past, and ironically, after all that struggle, I was able to silent assassin suit only this mission with only a couple attempts. The game says there are more guards on higher difficulties, so I wonder if there were like half the total guards or something, because that was so much easier than previous missions. Then after the climactic fight, there's one more mission where I just have to kill 3 guys and there's no other people in the mission. So I did that, I guess. Anyways, we discovered Diana was alive the whole time. Wow! As the final cutscene came to a close, my game crashed. And what a fitting end to this experience that was. So, what's the final verdict for Hitman Absolution? Would I recommend it? No. I think this game was probably fine when it came out, but it has been obliterated by the modern gaming market. The controls are clunky, the AI is inconsistent, and the levels are restricted. I'm sure there's a niche market of people who'd be interested in an old school linear stealth game, but it's simply not my cup of tea. Like at all. It's more of like a cup of sewer water in my opinion. Probably should have just played it on easy to begin with. Well, anyways, that was my experience with this game. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for stuff like this in the future.